Hello, third graders. Welcome to another math lesson. Today we're going to work on lesson 6-4, and it's called Fact, Power, and Beat the Calculator. I just hope that you are doing your best to stay warm and cozy. It is cold outside. First, some mental math. I have a couple problems on each screen that I'm going to show you. And what I want you to do first, try to figure them out in your head. If you can't, then you can, when in doubt, draw it out on your whiteboard. The first one, a tennis coach puts 4 tennis balls in each of 4 baskets. How many tennis balls does she have? And the second one, a tennis coach puts 4 tennis balls in each of 3 baskets. How many tennis balls does she have? What can you do to solve these? Well, even though I'm asking you to do this mentally, you can think of a number sentence to go with it. So this would be 4 times 4. And I know that 4 groups of 4 is 16. So the answer is 16 balls. And the second one here, again, 4 tennis balls in each of 3 baskets. I can think of 4 times 3. I can think of 4 groups of 3, and that is 12. So it would be 12 tennis balls. Here's another pair. If each week has 7 days, how many days are in 7 weeks? Well, the number sentence for this would be 7 times 7. And the answer to that is 49. So there are 49 days in a week. Now, if each week has 7 days, how many are in 6 weeks? Well, let's use 7 times 7 as our helper fact to figure out 7 times 6. Here's 7 sevens for 49, but I only want 6 sevens, so I could take away a group of 7 and get 42. So 7 times 6 equals 42. So how many days are in 6 weeks? It would be 42 days. Let's get that moved. There we go. And our last pair. There are 8 dance teams in a tournament with 8 dancers on each team. How many dancers are in the tournament? Use your number sentence, 8 times 8. And when you look at that number sentence, we see that both factors are the same, so it is a square problem. 8 times 8 is 64. So how many dancers would there be in the tournament? There would be 64 dancers. Now, the second problem, there are only 7 dance teams in the tournament with 8 dancers on each team. So 7 times 8 is the number sentence that we need to solve. But we can use 8 times 8 as our helper because this is actually a near square problem because it is near the square, 8 times 8. So here is 8 groups of 8 for 64. I only want 7 groups of 8. So what can I do to that helper fact? I can take away 1 group of 8. 64 minus 8 is 56. So if I only had 7 teams of 8 dancers, there would be 56 dancers. All right. Now our math message, and you will indeed want to get out your whiteboard marker and eraser. Here's your task. Each of the following products is a multiplication square. Whoops. I want to underline that. You need to complete each number sentence and draw an array to show one of the multiplication squares. Now here's a clue. It's square. So when I make that array, it needs to be in the shape of a square. Let's do this first one together. When I am working on multiplication squares, my factors both have to be the exact same number. So this one cannot be 1 times 9. Although it does equal 9, it's not a multiplication square. the factors have to be exactly the same. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then beside that, make an array for 3 times 3. And it should be in a square shape. So I want you to go ahead and finish. What same two factors can you multiply to get 49? What same two factors can you multiply to get 36? What same two factors can you multiply to get 81? And draw arrays for those. Pause, complete, come back. Okay, so now that you're back, you should have gotten 7 times 7 equals 49. 6 times 6 equals 36. 9 times 9 equals 81. And you should have drawn an array for each of those. All right, very good. The title of our lesson was Fact Power. Fact Power. We're going to have some superpowers for Fact Power today. Fact Power simply means being able to answer a multiplication or division fact quickly. So if I would say, what's 2 times 2? You would say 4. And 5 times 5, 25. 1 times 5, 5. So fact power is just knowing your facts and being able to answer them quickly. So something to help you practice that is a new game to play. And it's called Beat the Calculator Game. You should have all the materials needed in order to play this game. In your toolkit, there was a calculator. You're going to need that calculator today. You should have some fact triangles. If you don't have fact triangles, you can make some quickly or write them on your whiteboard, but you should have some fact triangles from a few lessons ago. Here where it says beat the calculator triangle, that's optional, which means you don't need to have it. And anyway, I might not have gotten to school over the weekend to get some copies. So, excuse me, I need to answer my phone. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that interruption. So, I had underlined to beat the calculator triangle. You don't need that. That's optional. So let's go through the directions and the object. You're going to be practicing multiplication and division facts. And the object of the game is to see if you can multiply faster than the calculator. So here's what you do. You're going to need 3 players. One's going to be the caller, one's going to be the calculator, and one is going to be the brain. Place the fact triangles in a pile on the table. The caller draws one fact triangle from anywhere in the pile. So obviously they're going to be face down. And the caller's going to cover the product, which is the number by the dot. And the caller asks for the product of the numbers. So the example they have there is a fact triangle with a 70 at the top and 7 and 10 at the bottom. So the caller would say 10 times 7. All right. So if you are the brain, you solve it without the calculator. If you are the calculator, you need to punch in all the numbers on the calculator in order to solve it. So you would have to type 7 times 10 equals. And the object is to see who gets it first. The brain, who's just saying the answers as quickly as they can, or the person on the calculator. So you want to do it about 5 or 6, or this one says 10 times, and then you trade your rolls. It's up to you guys. So there's a few variations at the bottom. Instead of covering the product, the caller covers one of the factors, and the caller says the division problem and asks for the quotient. So maybe you're covering up the 7, and the caller would say 70 divided by 10. And the brain would try to get the answer as quickly as they can, and the calculator would do it on the calculator. All right, good luck. That's a fun game. If you have time, you can also play fraction memory. You did that a couple weeks ago. The directions are here for you to go over them again, and you should have your fraction cards handy at home. When you're finished with the games, Work on Math Box, page 196. Have fun today. Tomorrow's even going to be more fun. Bye-bye.